It's over for Bitcoin because Bank of Japan had increased interest rate from its previous 0.5% rate to 0.75% today, which is highest in last 30 years. And in my 8 year of Bitcoin career, Japan had increased interest rate only 3 times, and this rate hike is the fourth increase. And during last 3 rate hikes, Bitcoin had crashed about 20 to 30% each time, and they had done same job again and increased interest rate to 0.75%. So how it is going to impact Bitcoin? And the most important question is Bitcoin going to crash like before due to this rate hike? And if yes, then how did I save my Bitcoin portfolio and remain profitable during last 3 crashes? But before I tell you my Bitcoin strategy, here is a disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor and this video is not a financial advice. In a while after interest rate hike, generally Japan JPY become strong against dollar, but currently Japan JPY currency start moving a bit up and down, and it's moving down against dollar right now. And generally when it's happened, it's good news for Bitcoin, but this JPY up move is not a good news for Bitcoin. There is a hidden thread behind this which you will understand in this video. So now you can see on screen, every time when JPY become strong against dollar, then Bitcoin had crashed. In March 2024 JPY became strong, Bitcoin crashed. In July it became strong, Bitcoin crashed. And in January 2025 JPY means again became strong, then Bitcoin had crashed 31%. So now it is clear, whenever they hike rate, then JPY become stronger and Bitcoin become weak and it start crashing. And from this past context, it's becoming more clear that Bitcoin would drastically crash due to this rate hike now. But Bitcoin is going to crash now, this doesn't matter. But what's really matter is how much Bitcoin is going to crash after this rate hike. And to understand this, you need to know the basic concept of carry trade. For a decade, Japan was providing loans at 0% interest rate. Then big investment companies and hedge funds had borrowed billions and trillions of Japanese yen because it was free money at 0% interest rate, and they had swapped that yen to US dollar to invest in stocks, bond and in Bitcoin to earn higher returns, and this whole process called carry trade. But due to this intense amount of yen outflow from Japan market, yen or JPY, we call both are same, became weak and the country started facing problem. And to solve out this problem, they started increasing interest rate, and when they increased interest rate, the person who borrowed loan from Japan started selling their holdings, whether it is in stocks or Bitcoin, to pay back their loans, and due to which the inflow in yen started increasing and yen became stronger against dollar. And I told you, whenever JPY becomes strong, Bitcoin start crashing because Bitcoin ride on liquidity, and during the rate hike, JPY sucks major liquidity from global market whenever the interest rate is increased. And you can see on the screen, every time when Bank of Japan had raised rate, liquidity had jumped in JPY because the investor who had borrowed money from Japan start paying back their loans in a fear of getting hurt by the higher interest rate. And the first market from where the selling pressure start is Bitcoin, because it is most risky and volatile investment. That's the reason this rate hike mostly impact the Bitcoin first. But the question is how much Bitcoin could crash and when it might start bouncing back, because last 2 times when Bitcoin had crashed during rate hike, then soon after that Bitcoin made new all-time highs. So are we going to see something like before? To understand this, you need to look at how global market is reacting on today's interest rate hike. When we look at Bitcoin charts, it's pumping right now. It's doing just opposite of what investor had thought. Everyone was expecting Bitcoin will crash drastically after this rate hike, because Bitcoin had crashed every time during this Japan rate hikes, but it is not crashing this time. So is this time different for Bitcoin? And the answer is in JPY USD charts. You can see here JPY is losing a strength now, which is good news for Bitcoin, but this is the hidden threat which you must know if you are holding or invested in Bitcoin. Japan interest rate is straight to Bitcoin only because of carry trade, in which billions and trillions of yen had swapped to dollar due to 0% interest rate. But now due to rate hike, investors will start swapping their dollar back to yen to pay back their loans, and this whole process is quite complicated, and that take maybe a day or a week, and that's the reason we are not seeing the inflow in JPY right now and Bitcoin is pumping. So I think this current stability or pump in the market is just calm before the storm arrives. So be prepared for if there is any crash in the market. But seriously, how much until when Bitcoin might crash, nobody can predict. but from the past analysis you can see that all three crashes was about 2 to 3 months of time period, and about 20 to 30% of crash during the rate hike. So from this we can make assumption that this crash might be of the same time, but really it's all depend on Bank of Japan whether they want to increase rates in future or not. If they continue to increase rate, then we might see the Bitcoin crashing, but if they possess rates like before, then like last to bounce back, we might also see Bitcoin making new all-time high this time too. But whether Bitcoin is crashing or pumping, I have a simple strategy. Whenever I see a dip, I do my analysis and I enter in that dip. No matter if Bitcoin is going to crash even more, because nobody can predict Bitcoin bottom or a top, and because of this I am strictly focused on DCA strategy, and due to this I remain in profit in all last 3 Bitcoin crash during this rate hike. And I invested in Bitcoin because I believe in Bitcoin. I believe it can become the future of finance. So for the short term I don't care where the price of Bitcoin is going. It's all matter to me is the long term gain of Bitcoin. But if you want to understand this whole Japan interest rate problem like top 1% of investor, you must watch this video.